Oh my god, I meant a screen recording, not a screenshot. Okay. Recorded, select image. Okay. Re-rolling. We are rolling. Alright, look. Look at this. This is my audio recording behind the scenes. Going over there. Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is another nonogram video after the overwhelming support I received on my last video. I just thought, you guys were begging, screaming at me in the comments to make another, oh, guys, do another nonogram video, please. Come on, please do it, please. I didn't really want to, but, just since you guys want it so bad, I was like, okay, might as well. So we're gonna pick a cool nonogram to solve here. This user makes some beautiful pictures, so I'm gonna do one of theirs. And I'll do a smaller one for this first video because I don't feel like filming for 4 hours. So I'm going to do one that's, a bit smaller. Let me search. So I want it to be like below 30 by 30. And I'll just, explain my process along the way. It's going to be a riveting. Look at these ones that I've already solved. They look very good. I want a black and white one though. I'm going to see if I can get a black and white one. If I can't, then I'll search for another user. Okay, I can. There we go. So you can tell they're good because, see, their picture rating is very high. This one, 25 by 25, I'll do it. Why not? Very high picture rating should be quite straightforward and simple. Okay, here we go. So the first strategy you want to do is look for the big numbers, like I said. And you want to get the top and bottom rows or the left and right rows because then it's easier to stem it from side to side. So at the bottom, you can see that this is a 15 right here. Okay, so right, okay, there we go. 15. So we count out 15 squares from the left, like that. And then you count out 15 squares from the right, like that. And you know that these 5 have to be filled in no matter what. And then we can look up here at the bottom 5. And we can see that it's a 1, a 6, a 2, and a 1. So we know that those have to be crossed off. Okay, where do you go from here? I see that there's a 4, a 2, and a 5, which means that this has to be filled in. Now we can, because, a 4, a 2, and a 5 at least have 2 squares in them. So now we can determine whether or not this can possibly be the 4, or possibly be the 2, or possibly be the 5. So let's pretend it's the 4. If it was a 4, it would have to be like this, right? I'm doing this in my head, but I'll visualize it for you guys. You're supposed to, when you're doing a nonogram, you're not supposed to, click and then unclick, because it's designed to do it with pen and paper, so you can't just do that. But I'm thinking about it in my head, but I need to visualize it for, you attentive viewers at home. By the way, I hope you're gathering the whole family around, maybe, like a Saturday night movie night, watch me solve some nonograms, get the kids, get the dog out, the whole family loves it, I'm sure. So it can be the 4, it's possible. It can also be the 2. Can it be the 5? If we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we do a space, then we do a 2, then we do a space, then we do a 4, that's possible. So we don't know anything about that yet. But what we do know is that this square is filled in. And if we look up, we already have the 1, and it has to be a 3. So we know that it's a 3, and then we can fill in 3, and then cross that off. And this has 1, 6, 4, 6. This can't be the 1 because 6, 4, 6 can't fit after this. So it has to be at least a 4. So, and actually, looking at it more in depth, we know that a 1 space 6 space 4 can't fit here, and a 6 space 4 space 6 can't fit in here. So it has to be the 4. So it has to be, which means that the 6 has to be, the 1 space 6 has to be in this block, and the 6 has to be in this block. So let's fill in the guaranteed squares from there. If we do 1 space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we get to here from the right, from the left. And if we do it from the right, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we get to here. So we know that these 3 have to be filled in. If we do the same thing over here, we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We fill in these. Then we do the same thing from the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We know that these 4 have to be filled in. And now we're repeating the process. We're going down. We're looking at it. We can see that there's a 5 here, and we can cross this square off, because if this square were to be filled in, it would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a 6, which is impossible. So we cross that square off. We do the same thing for this. So this is another 5. And then there's an 8. The bottommost potential option is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can fill those in. They have to be, because like there's no feasible way to make an 8 without these 3 squares being involved. You can't. Same thing with this 7. It's the same principle with the 8, but we just fill this one in because it's 7 from the bottom. And now we look to the right over here, this 5. We see that there's a 5, same principle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have to fill this one in. And now the same thing that we did earlier. If this square was filled in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would be 6. We can cross this one off. I think you guys are getting the pattern. Okay, now what do we do? Let's look around. And this is kind of like the hardest part of this puzzle, thinking, oh, what do we do next? You just have to kind of figure out what the next guaranteed squares you can get at are. There's probably so many options that you guys that you can see. But I'm just going to do a simple one, which is at the top. There's a 14, and it's basically the same principle as this 15, but we'll not be able to fill in as many squares. So if you fill out 14 from the left, 1, 2, 3 would be 15, but this is 14. And then 1, 2, 3 would be 15, but this is 14. So these 3 have to be filled in. And then we can do the same thing that we did at the bottom, but for the top. So these have to be a 1, a 2, and a 2. And if you want, you can cross these off as you go if it helps you. It doesn't really help me. It just gives me more work to do. But if it helps you, it helps you. And then we can look here at the 8, 5, 4. Remember what we did down here? We're like, oh, it has to be at least this. This has to be at least a 4. Right? And now we can look and see an 8 and a 5 cannot fit in here. So it has to be at least a 5. It basically has to be the 5. It can't be the 8. It has to be the 5. Which means that the 8 has to be in this section and the 4 has to be in this section. If the 4 were in this section, 1, 2, 3, 4 from the left, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 from the right, mean that this square has to be filled in. The 8 in this section, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 from this section means that this has to be filled in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 from that side means that all those have to be filled in. Now we can look at the top. There has to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 2, 2. And now what do we do? We see that this is a 1, so we cross this and this off. And now we know for a fact that all this is the 14. We can cross all this off. So that top row is completely done, which is a big benefit. So now we can just start going down the line. So this has to be a 9, and it has to start at the bottom. So we can literally, it's very easy when puzzles give you stuff like this from the top. So you can just fill in all of them from the top row and cross them off when you're done. It's just like this. And now right here, we see that there has to be 2. So this, 2, this. Now we can look to the left. See what we're missing? 6, 8. So this cannot be filled in, obviously, since the 8 has to be over here. And it starts right there. So it has to be those 8 squares. 8, 5, 4. We still don't know that exactly yet. 4, 2. We can't really tell anything there yet. We can cross this one off, though, however. 8, 5, 4. So this has to be a 3. So this one has to be filled in, because there's no way you can make a 3 without this square. This has to be a 1, so these 2 have to be crossed off. This has to be a 1, so these 2 have to be crossed off. This has to be a 2, so this has to be crossed off. And then this 2, well, we know if we look to the left, there's a 4 left, so we can cross this off and fill in the rest of the 4 and cross this 2 off. And then we see that it's a 4 and a 2. It has to be these 2, so we can cross the rest of this row off completely. And now we look right here and see that it's a 2 and a 3, so we can cross this 2 off and finish the 3. And now we look to the left and see it's a 3 and a 2, so we can cross all this off, do a 2, and then bang. And then 1, 2, 2, 5, cross. 2, 2, cross. Guys, I just hope this is as riveting for you as it is for me, watching me just repeat the same phrases over and over and over. I just hope, maybe they'll play this on a Times Square billboard someday, who knows. 1, 2, so we cross that off because it's a 2. At least, if you guys are trying to go to sleep, I think this will be a good way to, help you get some rest. Put it on the background, my nice soothing voice. Those videos can be good for that. Let's look down here at this 2, 6, and this 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So so we just do the same principle, like the leftmost and rightmost, but it's the topmost and bottommost. So the 6, if we're going from the topmost, would be right here, and then 8 would be space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then same thing the other way. 8, already filled that in, space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these have to be filled in no matter what. Now this 7, we can cross a few off because we know that the 7 has to contain these 2 squares, and there's only, if there's a 2 filled in, 2 plus 5 is 7, so there's only 5 squares that could be left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can just cross the rest of that off, which means that there's a 2 and a 1 and a 2 here. We don't know exactly. The 2 could be here, potentially, so we can't fill this in just yet. But looking at the way the puzzle goes, it looks like we'll be able to fill that in, but we just can't do it yet because we don't know for sure. This is a 2, 5, and a 2. There's no 1, so we can fill this in. We can't cross it off yet because a 2 could fit here. So we don't know whether it's a 2 or a 5. Now what do we do? Maybe we look at this row. So there's a 1, 5, 2, 1, 5. We go 5 space 1 space 2. So the 5 has to be, it can't fit in here, so the 5 has to be on the right side of this. So maybe if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the right, then we go 1 space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the left. We can't fill any of it in because the 5 on the left end's here, the 5 on the right end's here. So it's possible that either way is a likely outcome. This 297, I didn't see this. So we can definitely fill a lot of stuff in here. So the 7 from the right, if we're going from the rightmost, it would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which means that those have to be filled in. If you guys don't get what I'm doing with this, probably should explain this earlier, but I'm doing, like, if there has to be a 7, right? So you know that, like, if these 2 are filled in, there's no way that you can make a 7 without these 2 being filled in, because if you just fill in these, it's a 5, it's not a 7, so these have to be filled in. That's the principle. So if we do 7 space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, fills in the 9, and then we come from the other side and we do 1, 2 space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we can't fill in any extra space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we can't fill in any extra, but we know for the fact that these 2 are filled in. Okay, now 1, 3, 2, 1. This has to be a 2, this square, because if these 2 were filled in, it would be a 3, not a 2, so we can cross this square off, which means that the 4, 2, 5 thing, this row, this has to be the 2. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but, you know, I said it. Okay, now what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Where are you? We gotta get to do it now. Ooh, okay, there's a 2, 2, 2, 2 right here. So this can't be filled in because it would be a 3, not a 2. Boom, cross that off. Oh yeah. Okay, we're just too good. Okay, so this 3, 6, 6 row, this has to be part of the 6s because 2 6s cannot fit on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom, cross that off. And we can fill in this square because 6 from the right, 6 from the left, 6 from the right. This square has to be filled in. Okay, we got it. Okay. No, this square, don't know anything about that square yet, actually. But we know that all this can cross off. So there's a 2 right here, which the 2 has to be part of the 3 because it can't be part of the 1. So if there's already a 2 and there's only 1 square left to make up the 3, all of these can be crossed off. This 2, this can be crossed off. It's part of the 2. Which means that the 6 has less possible squares that it could be, which means that this has to be filled in if we do it from the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now, 2, space, 1, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, space, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I don't know what, I don't think that row can, or this column can tell us anything yet. Let me see. 1, 2, space. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just thinking about what we can possibly do next. It's the major part of the puzzle, and I see this 15 down here, and we can fill in a lot more of the 15, so we can cross these 4 off because the 15 can't fit inside these 4 squares. That would be absurd. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5. That's a 9. Plus another 5. What is that? 9 plus 5 is 14. Yep. And then another one is 15. So we can fill all of these in. So there's 11 automatically filled in. There's 4 on the left. And the right, so we don't know which of these 8 squares could be filled in to make the rest of the 15. I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly, but it makes sense. So we know that this has to be the 3 since this is filled in at the bottom, and we know that the 6 has to at least have these squares in it because this one is guaranteed. Okay, same thing here, but instead of a 3, it's a 2, and then the 6 has these these squares filled in instead. I think you guys get it. And then we cross this off. We just do the same thing basically, corresponding to these numbers. So this one, 2, and then a space, and then 4. We can fill in the entire 4. Very useful. This 1, cross off. This 1, cross off. Okay, this 6 can be entirely filled in now. And the rest could be crossed off. This 4 and this 3, there's not enough space to fit a 4 and the 3 in a 1 square, so we can cross this off and we can add 2 more for the ones that we crossed off on the right of the 15. And then we can come over here and we can go, oh, there's a 1. Oh, that's a 2. Boom. Cross that off. Okay. Now, there's a 2 right here. The 5 can't fit in these 2 squares. And the 4 can't fit in these 2 squares, so we can cross all of these off. And then we can look at the 5 and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These have to be filled in. This has to be filled in, completes the 5. This has to be filled in, and this has to be filled in to almost complete the 8. There's 4 here, and this has to be filled in to almost complete the 7. We look to the right here, and we see that there's an X here, which means that this has to make up the 4. Okay, there's 6. There's 3 here, and there's 6. So there's only 3 other squares that can be made up. So these 2 have to be crossed off. There's a 3 right here. This has to be crossed off because the 3 can't fit inside 1 square, and then 1, 2 there. There's 4 squares left. 2 of them have to be filled in automatically. This is a 3. This one has to be filled in automatically. 3 right here. Cross off. Cross off. This has to be a 2. Boom. 4. 1. 3. 4. 4. 1. Great commentary for me. Okay. 5. 4. 3. 3. Ooh, we can fill in all the 15. Let's go. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Cross. Cross. This is going to be such a long video. 15 minutes already. But it's going to be a great picture, guys. Stick around. Watch the whole thing. It's just so much more satisfying, I'm sure, than actually solving one yourself, to watch, a master like me solve one and provide such excellent, thoughtful commentary on this video. Okay, cross. In case you guys couldn't tell, I'm being funny and sarcastic. I'm suggesting that my commentary is actually not the greatest. I mean, it's alright, but there's a couple people better at it than me. It's a good commentator. I don't know. It's a good commentator. That'd be a funny joke if I knew a lot of sports commentators. Let me see. Cross this off. Cross. It can meet cross. 2. This is to be a 6. Boom, cross. 4. 7. Let's go. 7. I'm not bored. Are you bored? Say it with me, class. No. We're not bored, Gavin. We're watching you talk to yourself while you solve a puzzle on the internet. No one else is watching. No one will ever make it this far into the video and listen to this. Nobody has the attention span to keep this up. I can say whatever I want right here. I can reveal my deepest, darkest secrets. One time, when I was 5 years old, you should bleep this out, Gavin, so it's funny. Like, bleep out this whole section, so it's a funny joke. Okay. Yeah, guys. I might bleep that later because I don't want people to know that about me. But anyway, let's just keep solving this nonogram. I'm probably gonna bleep that. Okay. Okay. 5 here. Cross off, 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 croissant, cross off. Sounds like a Russian tennis player. Cross off. Okay. There's 2 squares left, and this is a 5. Boom, cross that off. Nobody's watching this for educational value anymore. I can just solve to my heart's content without saying what I'm doing. Bloody, 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 blah, 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 blah. Okay, 6. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, there has to be a 2 here and then a 1 there, so this is the 2. This better be a good picture. Let me step back and squint. It looks like it's going to be a shrimp. That's what I think. You guys a big fan of shrimp? The food / animal? A lot of things are like that. Food / animals. Since we are omnivores, we eat meat. So most animals we also convert into food. Except vegans. Vegans prefer not to slaughter animals. So they do not eat animals. In case you guys didn't know what a vegan is, I am providing educational information for you. So you don't only get to watch me solve a nonogram, you get to learn about human history and culture. This is just a great, I'm sure, transformative religious experience for all of you. 5 is left. 5 can only fit in here. I wonder how loud that sounds in the microphone. Not that I'm using a microphone, as you can tell by the whirring in the background. I'm using my Mac. Built-in, I guess that's technically a microphone, but it's the MacBook Pro. Yep, have a Pro. Built-in microphone. It's quite good. One of the better MacBook built-in microphones out there, I would say, the MacBook Pro has. I have, of course, sampled all the others. I would rank this among the top. Let me see. 5, 2, 5. Nobody's watching this far, so I can make random noises. Oh Lord. Happy's probably watching this far, or at least has skipped, a portion of it. Hello. Let me see. 2 right here. Okay, and then 2. Let me see. This is gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be a phenomenal picture once it's done, and a phenomenal, entertaining video to add to my astounding collection. Let me see. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. 4, 3, 4. So it can't be this. Dude, it's gonna be a cool dog. This is cool. This person is a very good artiste. Un artiste. That was me speaking French. Because they'll have throat cancer. That was a joke. They don't actually all have. Some do. It's very sad, but most of them don't. Let me see. Okay. Boom. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. It's almost done, guys. This is the moment you've all been waiting for, the climax. You are about to reach the climax. You're all about to climax to this nonogram being finished. Okay, here we go. 2, 2, boom, ready? Wait for it. Let's go! Look at that message. Congratulations, the crossword is completely solved, and you have to press OK. The rest doesn't let you do anything else. You have to agree that it's solved, or else you cannot click anything. You can't even click the URL at the top, dude. This website has a lot of control. Alright, look at it. It looks good. That's the case with a lot of these, but then if you just step back and squint at it, it's way better. See, it's like a dog lying on its bed. Super cool. It's a good puzzle. The bigger ones are even better, but I mean, this took 23 minutes. I didn't really want to record like a 4-hour video yet, but like for the ones that are like 50 by 50, like that's how long they'll take, but they look really good. I'll film one of those eventually, but yeah, so bye guys. See you later. Gonna stop recording now.